not because it's practical and there's some kind of an opposition between practice and theory, but because, as I said, if I tried, first of all, it's very difficult to generalize, as Gramsci knew, in that area. So if I tried to generalize and code this for my academic intellectual equals, I would not be able to learn anything. So therefore, I don't write about this for that reason. And as I said, I think I value very much the ability to theorize and the right to abstraction, which is what these villagers have not been granted. They've been punished by the fact that gender is our first instrument of abstraction all over the world. It's on that abstraction that social formations are created, but these people are obliged to accept it as if it's real rather than an abstract construction. So, to me, the fact that the written person, the writing person, seems to be a different sort of person is not very much more than an amusement. It's I'm like this in the classroom and have always been. I should say, although I think both of them will be tremendously irritated, that from 1999 to 2004, Benjamin Baer was my student. So am I allowed to say this?
Yes.
Thank you. So therefore he knows my classroom teaching. Kofi Anidoho actually was not a classroom student of mine, but he had enough sense of me when he was at the University of Texas to select me for his PhD committee. So I was on his committee, and just last year in Ghana he revealed, this story, Kofi, I will never forget, that he was told when he chose me that perhaps he was not making a very good decision because I was a difficult person. So that aura of difficulty.
What is a crime about? This is not crime against the Muslims. This is a crime against democracy itself. So this paradox remains quite not understandable to me in view of the fact that modern India is called a secular democracy or even a state for the good of all. Now when Gayatri Spivak is speaking, in the sense that I sense that the question of supplementing the Vanguard and talking about the subaltern and also an occasional reference to Gramsci makes it more intriguing. The paradox is rather, I would say, I thank you for referring to Ramchandra Guha and all of those. Even you could have referred to Arun Shori, people who are now bringing democracy down to the grassroots, at the same time also upholding this tyranny as a new sense of communitarianism.
You have to give me a question though. You have to give me a question.
Yeah, the question is this: why this crisis? Partha Chatterjee, Sudipta Kare, they are saying, oh, India has no civil society, that's why they are having it. My question is, in the light of that question, what kind of a revolution India enacted in 1947? That's the question. Would you agree with Gramsci's characterization of Mahatma Gandhi as an ideologue of a passive revolution? Is it the case of a passive revolution where there is no civil society, or the civil society has become the state itself? That is my question.
Remember what I said. I do not read theory in order to find illustrations of the theory here, there and everywhere. So don't ask me to write my lived experience according to passive revolution or what Gramsci thought of Gandhi, etc. That's not the way I do theory.
About the question I'm pointing out, is this a case of passive revolution or not?
I cannot say. But you should let
I want to
what was said?
Put Gramsci is in jail because otherwise Stalin will have him killed. Here is Gramsci. Now, and then it was Togliatti, this Togliatti, who was his literary executor. What did Togliatti do? He chopped up Gramsci and turned him into little essays and so on, so that one could say Gramsci thought this and Gramsci thought that, and the English actually took Togliatti's Gramsci, the French there is no bigger crime than how Gramsci has been misrepresented, especially to readers in English and French, because he never wrote a book called The Modern Prince. And all of those so-called essays on the intellectual and so on. First of all, he never wrote an essay called The Intellectual. I teach Gramsci, so please don't think I'm showing off, but this is an example. If you actually